All right. Okay, peace and blessings, everybody. Got a letter here from Jason Gerhard, and he wrote a letter to Senator Rand Paul. So this is going to be Jason Gerhard. He's been in prison over 10 years. He was simply helping the Browns. And for his trouble, he spent the last 10 years in prison. His letter goes, Senator Rand Paul, Senate Office Building, Washington, D.C. He wrote it on May the 16th of 2018. Dear Senator Paul, the Federal Bureau of Prisons has officially launched a war on journalists. On April the 19th, 2018, I was removed from general population at LSCI Allenwood and placed into the Special Housing Unit, SHU, otherwise known as the Hole, for 15 days. My crime was discarding over 300 pages of food service invoices acquired through a Freedom of Information Act FOIA request. In true Orwellian fashion, I was charged with stealing, theft, including data obtained through the unauthorized use of communication device or through unauthorized access to disks, tapes, or computer printouts or other automated equipment on which data is stored, possession of anything not authorized for retention or receipt by the inmate and not issued to him through regular channels. Point 3, lying or providing a false statement to a staff member. When questioned by Lieutenant Cheong at 1 a.m. on April the 18th, I told him the truth, that those documents were redacted FOIA material that another inmate had left behind when he went home. Not being a big fan of wasting paper, I thought that placing them on the mailbox where everyone throws old newspapers, magazines, books, etc., was the right thing to do, as the backs of them could be used for scrap paper. He let me know that he was very familiar with FOIA documents and the ones in front of him were in fact stolen. Even after I pointed out the redactions on nearly every page, he would not be swayed. Finally, he let me know that I'd be going to the hole for lying to him. Special Investigation Services, SIS, Lieutenant Geeb interviewed me on April the 19th at 12:30 p.m. We went through a similar song and dance. Once more, I explained very politely that these papers were the result of a FOIA request. She proceeded to let me know of her experience with FOIA materials, but unfortunately her experience failed to alert her to the fact of what was in front of her. Additionally perplexing is the fact that she was in possession of the FOIA number for the documents in question from an email I had sent out earlier that morning that she showed me, but no effort was made to check out the request number. Instead, she threw me in the hole. The FOIA documents that I'd left on the mailbox to be used for scrap paper were the unneeded remains of request number 2016-07436. This request was for 1, the last 3 months of invoices for all the food services items, and 2, the total amount of money collected from the officer mess hall for the last 6 months. It was filed by my former cellmate, Paul Rockwood. Utilizing the data concerning the amount of money collected from the officer mess hall over a period of 6 months, Mr. Rockwood wrote a scathing letter to the Inspector General's office disclosing his findings. This letter is enclosed. It was discovered that administrative staff at LSCI Allenwood don't feel the need to pay the $2 cost for their meals. The invoices for all items delivered to the Food Services Department were requested in order to determine whether embezzlement was occurring. At this institution, among other anomalies, the French toast is made with regular whole wheat bread versus the white bread that, as far as I've seen and heard, other federal institutions use. Mr. Rockwood and I were curious as to whether white bread was actually being ordered because the recipe card specifically calls for it. In addition, the BOP's chief dietitian, Mitchell Holliday, wrote in a memo dated September the 22nd, 2015, each year this memo is reissued that, quote, food service administrators must ensure strict adherence to providing food options identified on the menu in accordance with approved ingredients, standardized recipe cards, and standardized portions, emphasis added. Amazingly, there were deliveries of white bread on July the 25th, 2016, and August the 8th of 2016 as disclosed in the FOIA documents, covering that brief 3-month span. The amount was small, 120 loaves, 22 slices each, at $1.05 each, for a grand total of $126. Yet there is good reason to question the completeness of the records furnished, given that the BOP forgot to include fresh fruit, and vegetables in the initial batch of documents sent, only remembering when an appeal was made to the Office of Information Policy, OIP, and they were forced to do so. See the notes section for more info. Either way, the fact is that there were 2,640 slices of white bread sent to LSCI Allenwood within a period of a couple weeks, and none of them went to the inmate population, despite the recipe card requiring such an ingredient. Senator Paul, I believe that it is fairly obvious that the recent charges leveled against me by the BOP are motivated by vengeance and not justice. The idea that FOIA documents, not specifically ordered by me, are contraband is absurd and only serves to hinder investigation into wrongdoing by the BOP. Such a policy is completely contrary to the spirit of the Freedom of Information Act in CV versus DOJ 2017, U.S. DIST Lexus 113028, DDC July 20th, 2017. The court wrote, the basic purpose of the Freedom of Information Act is to open agency action to the light of the public scrutiny, thereby furthering the citizens' right to be informed about what their government is up to. DOJ versus Reporters Communication for Freedom of the Press, 489 U.S. 749. At this present difficult time in our country's history, it is important as never before, that the American public be educated as possible as to what our government is up to. For my heinous crime, the BOP has decided to take away from me the ability to visit with my family and communicate with them via email for a period of 4 months. Fortunately, the disciplinary hearing officer, Todd Cerny, dropped all the charges, but the nebulous possession of anything not authorized offense, although such restrictions are annoying, they are not the main motivation for this letter. The idea that the BOP may place the Freedom of Information Act in a 5-point restraint chair, a horrible form of punishment for intractable inmates, within its fences is why I write to you today. Traditional media is limited in their ability to investigate within the confines of the system due to the myriad number of rules and regulations governing their conduct. Inmate journalists are around and willing to fill the void, but they need your help. Respectfully, Jason Gerhard. He has a notes section. He's got an address, but that address can be found on yearofjubilee.com. Jubilee is spelled with one E. If you don't remember that, just go to IHateTheFBI.com. His notes section says, the BOP has a habit of forgetting to release documents. Just last year, a federal lawsuit was required to get them to remember. See Gerhard versus Federal Bureau of Prisons. Documents cited in this essay, as well as past essays about the BOP, can be found at yearofjubilee.com. Wow, Jason remembers my website. That's one E, by the way. And if you can't remember Year of Jubilee, just remember, I hate the FBI.com. Thank you for your time, and I pray you take the time to write Jason Gerhard a letter. When you write Jason a letter, tell him about how